For CED Magazine's News from the Show, I'm Stuart Schley. It's day 2 of Cable Show 2012.
Day 2, yes.
Busy day 2. I'm at the Motorola Mobility booth with Nate Williams, who's Senior Director and Head of Product Marketing for the Converged Experiences Group.
That's right.
There's a lot of converged experiencing going on at this show. Where do you see innovation flowing from right now?
Yeah. So just high level, the Converge Experience Group at Motorola exists to marry the software that we have at Motorola with some of the hardware devices that consumers. And it's all about empowering consumers to do more in the home, whether that's watching media or dealing with things like home automation. Here at the Cable Show, we're really looking to show our customers and show end users the ability. We're delivering the future of TV and the evolution of a smart connected home. Probably the biggest trends that we're seeing in consumers are things, first would be multi-screen. Consumers really want to have this great content experience across multiple devices. So before, the expectation is, let me have a great experience just in front of a TV when I'm leaning back. Now they want to see that on a mobile phone. They want to see it on a tablet, sometimes in their home, sometimes elsewhere. So in the past year, we saw a 5-fold increase in the number of consumers that were watching TV on a mobile phone.
Wow.
So really interesting research that we did. The other part we're seeing is efficiency in the home in terms of home automation.
Right.
So we're seeing that category grow, but what consumers are saying, look, I don't want to be CTO of my own home. I want this to be made simple for me, and I want to save some time. I want to be efficient. I don't want to spend an hour a day turning off lights, doing thermostats.
You've talked about this, that it's interesting because making things simple is actually very complex. Right. So how do you kind of dovetail this?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a product management paradox that that you struggle with. As you try to make these products simple, there's actually a lot of hard work done to abstract that technology. But ultimately, for a consumer, if it's too complicated and they have too much choice, they actually don't want to engage in the product. So what we end up doing with heavy market research, talking to consumers directly in focus groups, we really focus on how we can make this experience dead simple, but also personalized. So a big theme that we're seeing with the show and with our consumers is, I want this experience personalized. I went to a certain school. I love the New York Giants. I'm really interested in the Rolling Stones. I want to have that personalization, and I want it to sort of tell me what I should be watching. If you have 1,000 channels and you've got music services, it's really hard to decide what to do. We're starting to see some innovation there that says, I know that you like these types of documentaries, you can watch something on auto racing.
I share your affinity for the Rolling Stones, not so much the New York Giants. So, talk about Dream Gallery and how it plays into this.
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked. So, Dream Gallery and the solution that we have, we announced about a year ago. We announced the partnership that we're doing with Shaw Communications. And so what Dream Gallery really is a development tool that delivers next generation user interfaces over multiple screens. A lot of folks are talking about the buzzword of HTML5. And really what that means is that next generation user interface will be really easy to use. It's going to be customized and personalized. Dream Gallery gives our service provider customers a tool that they can quickly change user interface on the fly. Perfect example would be they do a deal and now they have a gaming service that they want to launch. That gaming service has to be in the guide that they show so consumers can pick it. Dream Gallery would give them the ability to dynamically insert a new opportunity in terms of a movie. Exactly. What it also does is give the ability for several folks to do A/B testing. So you want to test one look and feel to a customer group, a different look and feel to another one. So we're seeing that ability of having this sort of development framework. And it's we've gotten a lot of great feedback.
It's a cool name too. I was wandering around the booth and I was zeroing in on a little white device that I think has something to do with home automation. What do you see happening in that category?
Home automation is one of these categories. If you and I backed up 15 years ago, we might have had a discussion. What's happened over the past 15 years is, in terms of the cost of the sensors, they've gone way down. The connectivity trends have become more reliable. So these devices that connect on the network, before they were all proprietary, now they're open standard, much more reliable. Where we've focused at Motorola is usability. This is a space where you have to get consumers really comfortable, and so we've taken the complexity out and made it as simple as your remote control is your cell phone, and I can look at a camera of my home if I'm on the road. I was in Sweden last week. I could see what was happening at my house, and if the lights were on in the middle of the day, it happens sometimes. We have a busy family.
Sure.
I could turn them right off.
Yeah.
So we're doing good things like that, and what we see is opportunities to extend that into media. So one of the things that consumers constantly tell us is, I'm watching the big game, somebody comes to my door, or it's too hot in the house, I gotta pause and I gotta go do that. And so what we're seeing now is this next generation of integration where eventually on a tablet, you can have the experience, you pull up the application, and you can do something right there, you never stop the show.
And also, it doesn't intrude on the TV.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
You've talked, I was interested in this, you talked about an average of 15 connected devices each day.
That's right. Yeah, so the current predictions, folks now in a broadband household have about 5 connected devices. You know, a gaming console, they have tablets, multiple different screens. That will triple in the next 3 years to 15. And what's interesting is all those devices will provide connectivity. There's also an issue for our service provider customers, which is every time a phone rings with a customer, they may be supporting a device that they didn't put in the field. And so we spend time thinking about what does it mean to the network? How do you provision that device? Ultimately, for a consumer, they want to see all their devices managed in a really simple user interface, and they want to have that control. I think we talked about this previously. Nobody wants to be CTO of their own home. Even though I work in high tech, I don't come home and want to solve technical problems.
I hear you. I get talking to you. I get sort of a new appreciation of why you call it the Converged Experiences Group, because we're working toward a lot of converged experiences going forward. So Nate, thanks for taking some time to visit with us at a busy cable show 2000.
It's been my pleasure.
For CED Magazine and News from the Show, I'm Stuart Schleyer.